Something that's going to take you right back to the day. Tune, of course, from Brookside. Very excited. It's kind of back on our screens next week with the Brookside Hollyoaks crossover to mark 30 years of Hollyoaks. I can't believe Hollyoaks is 30 years on. I remember watching the first episode of that. But really, kind of Hollyoaks came out of Brookside, so it's designed as a love letter to both programmes. And let's reflect on this and take a trip down memory lane, or memory Brookside close. That should be. Lee from Choose 80s is joining us on the line. Morning, Lee.
Oh, morning, John. How are you?
I'm very well. I love it. How do you feel when you hear that theme tune playing?
I actually got goosebumps then. I haven't heard it for so long. And it just took me right back to my teenage years.
Oh, it's brilliant. I just love the drums. Yeah.
I know.
So Brookside, we're taking you back to the 80s. I thought, right, who can we talk about Brookside to? And I thought, yeah, choose 80s, because it is something that started right at the beginning of the decade, in the year that I was born. November 1982, the first episode aired.
Yeah, and it was a very special episode because it helped to launch Channel 4, didn't it? It was its flagship show, and so it was such an important drama. And it was a really special drama as well, because the actual clothes had been built especially for the show. I mean, when does that ever happen?
I know.
So it made you feel like the characters were even more real, because it was like they were living in the house.
And there were certain houses you never saw inside of, and also used them for like production, makeup and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. That's right. But for all intents and purposes, it felt like they were the actual houses, didn't it?
Yeah, amazing, and really groundbreaking as well. I mean, it was created by, of course, the legendary Phil Redmond. He brought us Grange Hill, but it was right from the start. It was never afraid to tackle those really serious issues and things that had never really been covered in soaps before up until that point.
No, I mean, it was groundbreaking. I suppose it followed on from his work with Grange Hill. You know, that was groundbreaking in itself. But it was a really sort of socially conscious soap opera. It sort of tackled loads of issues that hadn't been tackled before. There was obviously domestic violence, which was the storyline where Trevor Jordache is buried under the patio. I mean, that was major. That was going into school the next day. Did you see that? And that was all because there was domestic violence with his wife Mandy. And they killed him and buried him under the patio. Yeah,
that moment, that scene always sticks in my mind where there's a guy, I think the character's name was Eddie. I seem to remember he was there in the garden doing some work, and then it's like a hand pops up. That moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
That shows how good something is when you can remember it all those years on.
I know, all those years later we're still talking about it, so it really had an impact. Of course, the first lesbian kiss and the openly homosexual character on British television in the 90s. I mean, we see a lot of that now. You know, it's kind of, society's moved on. But back then, that was groundbreaking.
Yeah, it definitely was. That was between Beth and Margaret, I think it was. And Beth, of course, was Anna Friel, who went on to amazing things after that. I mean, it was a platform for some major actors and actresses, wasn't it?
Certainly
Sue
was.
Johnston, Ricky Tomlinson, Sheila and Bobby Grant, obviously Anna Friel. There were some major actors, and they're actually coming back, aren't they, Sue and Johnston and Ricky Tomlinson, in this new show that's coming out.
I mean, I was really excited. So, I mean, first of all, how is Hollyoaks 30 years old? I mean, I know Hollyoaks kind of came out of Brookside, started in 1995. I remember watching, the first episode. How was that 30 years ago?
I know. That seems like for young people.
Yeah. Are you a Hollyoaks fan? Is that for?
At the beginning I was. I think I then got that bit older that I moved on to other things. But yeah, at the beginning I really enjoyed Hollyoaks. And it's going to be strange seeing the two together, isn't it? In this crossover. I think it's Mick, who was in the original, who's now in Hollyoaks. And it's his character that brings Hollyoaks into Brookside.
Yeah, and so you've got Mick, you've got other characters, other actors that have since joined the cast of Hollyoaks. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all those stories intertwine and how it all leads back to Brookside Close. It's promised to be dramatic and dark, and they've got a Hollyoaks later episode. But I think you're right, a lot of people are, I've seen on social media, they've lost, they don't watch Hollyoaks, and suddenly they're big fans of Brookside. So I'm wondering how many people are now trying to catch up with Hollyoaks. So a bit of binge watching this weekend to get to speed what's going on. Who's who?
I bet they will. And I bet it was a massive thing for the actors of Hollyoaks to go onto a Brookside set.
Yes.
For them, many of them would have grown up watching it as well, so it will be a massive thing for them.
Yeah, and it's designed as described as a love letter to both soaps. I mean, obviously, Hollyoaks owes a lot to Brookside. They use some of the same sets and some of the same, production values from Brookside went on to Hollyoaks, and that kind of legacy lived on in Hollyoaks long after Brookside finished. Yeah,
and it'd be a tribute to, as you said, Phil Redmond, who created both of these shows. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah. I know, it's just teasers all over the internet. It's like, I want to watch this, definitely. Also, a tribute to Dean Sullivan, who was Jimmy Corkill, who's sadly no longer with us.
Yeah, the Corkills were just amazing, weren't they?
Yes.
I love that family. There were so many classic characters, people like Sinbad, really standout characters. So it'd be nice to see some of those, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a real nostalgia fest. And how do you feel about when Brookside 2003 came to an end? That was a really, really sad that it had to end.
I think that was quite a shock. It must have been that there were plummeting viewing figures, but I don't know. Everyone I spoke to still watched it.
Yeah.
So, and then you see EastEnders and Coronation Street and Emmerdale still continuing through this time, and you think, maybe, Brookside could have done that. I think it was cut off too early, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, there's a lot of hype now, a lot of people talk about Brookside. Do we think that maybe they could say, right, we're going to bring it back? Do you think that could happen?
It could. Well, look what's happened to Neighbours.
Well, yeah. It's
Neighbours finished, and Neighbours has come back again, having done its huge farewell with Jason Donovan and Kylie Minogue. Maybe there's something in this. Maybe they're testing the water to see maybe whether it could come back. But then, of course, it's whether you get these big characters, people like Sue Johnston, they may have agreed to this one-off, but would they agree to a longer-term thing?
It'll be interesting to see what happens, though. Maybe in some way it can come back. But I know that the houses you mentioned, they built a purpose-built for the show. When the show ended, they basically sold them off. And I was in Liverpool, and my parents lived in Liverpool for a little while, so they used to like watching Brookside to see the old sites and stuff. But a few years ago, I remember I was in Liverpool on holiday, and I thought, first thing I'm going to do on the way to where we were staying is Google where Brookside Close is and actually drive around the close. And that was quite surreal, being there.
I bet it was.
Having a picture sign.
That.
Yeah, but it's actually people living there, and you feel that if you live there, imagine living there on what was a film set, people were probably doing that all day, every day, looking through windows, thinking,
They definitely would, and I suppose if you buy those houses, you're going to have to expect that, aren't you?
I just imagine the George Ash's house, the estate agents, with an added extra under the patio. Yeah, I can imagine that.
It's very unique, this house.
But they've all agreed, I think, the residents to have filming taking place again on the close and in their houses as well for this. So we'll see. But for now, we've got a week of nostalgia to look forward to, and
absolutely,
brilliant.
Yeah, knock an eye.
Absolutely. So that's Brookside, of course, a busy time for you at Choose 80s. So first of all, tell us a bit about what you do at Choose 80s.
So we're journalists by trade. We've been journalists for 30 years, and we thought, why not combine our skills with our passion, which is 80s music. So for the past 15 years, we've specialised in 80s music, and we interview 80s pop stars, we review festivals and gigs, and we just celebrate everything 80s, really.
Oh, and that's such a great decade. I mean, there's a lot of love for the 80s, and so and your socials are full of nostalgia, taking you back to the 80s. And you have won an award yourself, haven't you, as Choose 80s?
Yes. So Sue and I, who run Choose 80s, we were named winners in the UK Top Influencers Award for our work in 80s music, which is a real honour and something we didn't expect to win, but it was a public vote. So it was 80s music fans that voted for us. Oh. And obviously we've got to know so many 80s music lovers through the years, and it's a real community out there. So we were so grateful for everyone voting for us, and we've had congratulations from a lot of the 80s artists that we interview. We've had some great interviews this year. We interviewed Basil Brush, which is a real history moment. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, I love that. But that was interesting.
Yeah, no, that was so good. And we've interviewed this year people like Kim Wilde, Marty Pello. Last year was our was a really big one for us. We interviewed the Jacksons at Rewind Festival. That was huge. But you can see all our interviews on YouTube at Choose 80s.
Brilliant.
And we've got interviews with hundreds of 80s.
Oh, wow. So very busy, but you love what you do. That really comes across talking to you. Yeah, very passionate.
We love it. We can talk about it forever.
Yeah. So if you had to sum up the 80s for, maybe one of these Gen Zs that wasn't around at the time, they're maybe gone and bought themselves or downloaded a Best of the 80s album, loving some music. How would you sum up the 80s in just a few words?
It was a really exciting, colourful time with music from all genres, and whether it be pop, hip-hop, house, ska, soul, R&B. It was just something there for everyone. It was a colourful time. Everyone could experiment with different looks. And also, I suppose, where technology is concerned, it was a real changing time. It was a time that computers came in.
Yes, big computers.
Changed from vinyl to, first of all, Walkman and Discman. Yeah, it was a real exciting time. If you go to the songs, there are so many classics that people of younger generations still sing and still know the songs off by heart, even though they may be 30, 40, coming up to 50 years old.
Amazing. Yeah, so I was born in 1982, so it's kind of, I have some memories of maybe the end of a decade in living memory for me, but yeah, definitely a great decade.
I bet you know all the songs, John.
I do know a few, I'm not going to sing any because, Howard Jones' new song is one that stands out. A lot of the Culture Club and, of course, Wham! Brilliant. Yeah. Lee, I could talk to you all day about the 80s and Brookside, but thank you for coming on. It's been really lovely to talk to you. And
you're welcome. It's always nice to talk to you, John.
Always nice to chat to you. Remind us again, how do we find you on Choose 80s?
Yep, so we are literally at Choose 80s. You can find us on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, on Insta and TikTok.
Brilliant. Lee and regards to Sue as well, your partner in crime. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you, John.
There we go. There's Lee from Choose 80s reminiscing about Brookside.